Coach Jim Larranaga joins the Marching to Madness College Basketball Zoomcast podcast today. His Miami Hurricanes went on a 9-game winning streak to move to 13-3 before a tough loss last night at Florida State, 65-64. Preceding that, the Canes took down Duke 76-74 on Saturday night, and they're also part of a five-way tie in the loss column for the ACC League. Coach, welcome back.
Nice to be on, Ken.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we were just talking about it. Charlie Moore stepped up. He hit a three with 7 seconds left. Foul at the end gives Florida State's Raekwon Evans a pair of free throws. He knocks them down. Such a tough loss.
Well, Florida State, I thought, played a tremendous game, and I thought we played a tremendous game, and it was one big play after the other. I thought Jordan Miller's offensive rebound kick out for a three by Charlie Moore was going to be the game-winning points. But Florida State's Raekwon Evans drove it the length of the court. We were called for a foul. He made the 2 free throws. We got the ball to Isaiah Wong with 0.8 seconds to go. He had a chance to maybe knock in a buzzer beater, but it was a tough loss for us. But we've also had some amazingly close wins, beating Duke by 2, Syracuse by 1, and several other games that came down to the wire. I think people are underestimating how good the ACC is this year.
I think they are too. I'm watching these games and I'm seeing a lot of close games. I'm seeing a lot of competition. I'm seeing a lot of players hit threes in the clutch only to come back and have the opponent make one as well. So the competition here and the talent is going to make for another solid run.
Well, I think the ACC is different than a lot of leagues in terms of how many players, good young players, we lose to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Our league, the ACC, has more players drafted by the NBA in either their freshman or sophomore year than any other league in the country, and by a substantial margin. And what that does is it makes the ACC younger each year. So it takes us a little while to get the chemistry and the bonding that goes into having a really good team by January. So we have some losses in November and December. They're obviously very important games, but we have some losses because of the youth and inexperience and how many newcomers we have to bring in each year.
Coach Kam NcGusty's just been monumental this year. He hit the game winner at Duke on Saturday night. It's a huge win, and you only had 5 turnovers. And the big thing off that was you had 17 points off 17 Duke turnovers.
Well, one of the things we've emphasized to our players, we're not a big, strong, physical team. In fact, we get outweighed by position by at least 20 or 30 pounds per position. And so what we have to do is scramble. We got to try to force some turnovers before the shot even gets on the glass. And there's only 3 ways to get the basketball. The first is really bad. The other team scores. But the other 2 are really good. You get a defensive rebound. That's a stop. Or you force a turnover. And a turnover is the best because you get a chance to fast break before the other team sets its defense. So we've tried to force more turnovers this year. We're not going to ever be a great defensive rebounding team. We're just not that big. And the teams in the ACC are huge. When you look at Florida State, they got 4 guys 7 foot. They got a 7-footer playing the 4. And they even their guards, the smallest player on their team is 6'4" and over 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm. NcGusty, 18 points, 5.9 boards, 2.1 assists. He should be in the running right now for ACC Player of the Year if this prorates.
Well, here's what I say. The ACC regular season is not a sprint. It's a marathon. You have to play 20 games. What you've done after 5 games, if it's good, like us, we were 5-0, that's great, but we still got 15 more games to play. Kam has gotten himself off to a great start. Our team has gotten itself off to a great start. But it's the consistency of effort, it's the consistency of execution that will make the difference in the long run, because it is a marathon and every game is a battle. And in order to win the war, you got to win a lot of those battles.
Coach, that quickness off the dribble that I'm seeing from your squad, talk a little bit about how you take advantage of that and then maybe how you set it up so the players can get to the basket.
Well, the biggest thing came, Ken, in the preseason, in the summertime, when my staff and I looked at our roster and had the vision that we needed to space the floor. Mm-hmm. We're a team that plays a lot of 5 out, meaning there's no post player. We don't have any big, strong, low post players like we've had in some years in the past. We mm-hmm. use Sam Wardenberg as a 5-man, even though he's more of a stretch 4. But by moving Sam to the 5 and moving him onto the perimeter, it's opened up driving lanes for our guards. And we have exceptional guard play. We basically mm-hmm. start 4 guards: Charlie Moore, Isaiah Wong, Kam NcGusty, and Jordan Miller. And then we bring 2 freshman guards off the bench in Bensley Joseph and Wooga Poplar.
I was going to ask you about the guards, Charlie Moore and Isaiah Wong, like you said, part of a 4 guard tandem with NcGusty and Jordan Miller. How have you seen defenses try to stop these guys or at least neutralize them?
Well, in our league, every head coach is a master of his own style and philosophy. Mm-hmm. So against a Jim Boeheim, you know you're going to get zoned. Mm-hmm. Against a Leonard Hamilton team, you know you're going to be pressed. Against a Coach K team, you know there's going to be a lot of pressure on your guards. So every opponent is a little bit different, and you have to prepare before the season ever starts with what we call packages. So we have a package of things we like to do against man, the packing defenses like you see against Virginia and Clemson, mm-hmm. and then a different package against the pressing teams like an NC State and a Florida State. And then still a different package against a Syracuse type zone team. So our players are accustomed to being able to make in-game adjustments depending on the defense we face.
Mm-hmm. Coach, going back a little bit, the 9-game win streak, I saw you guys play the 3 up in Orlando, and you went 1-2 in that tournament. What happened between the Alabama game and I guess the beginning of what would be the next or the subsequent game to kind of start the ball rolling to build to a 9-win streak?
Well, the Alabama game was actually a tremendous help to us. Mm-hmm. The tournament was a tremendous help. When we played Dayton, we played pretty conservatively, and their size was able to take advantage. So we learned from that we needed to scramble more, trap a little bit more, try to force more turnovers. We did that against North Texas, and we're able to come from behind and get a nice victory. But when we got to Alabama, it was our 3rd game in 4 days, and we were not able to sustain the energy level. We played very well against Alabama for the first 15 minutes, and we were ahead, I think, by as many as 9. Mm-hmm. But then we ran out of gas, and we needed our bench to help us, and that's something that has become an issue now. Of our bench, like last night against Florida State, got outscored 25-0. We need our bench to step up and give us some points. Doesn't have to be 20 or 25, but it helps when we get 10 or 12 points from our bench. Guys like Anthony Walker and Wooga Poplar and Bensley Joseph, if those guys can each get 4 each or 6 each, that would make a big difference so that we could rest the Charlie Moores and the Sam Wardenbergs and still keep them well rested for the final push like we did against Duke.
And as we look at your team right now, its effective field goal percentage is number 8 in the nation. What's been the driving catalyst of making that happen?
You know, it's great that you asked that, because I get a chance to talk about someone who has made a huge difference in Miami basketball, and that is Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore came in here as a transfer, and he's one of the guys that has a very unusual journey. He started out at the University of California, then transferred to Kansas, then transferred to DePaul, and now is finishing his 6th year in college at Miami. And he has come in here and has been a great on-the-court leader just by sharing the basketball. Charlie is so good at finding the open man, giving the ball up. He gets it back because he's one heck of a scorer himself, but he gives the ball up so effortlessly. And he and Sam Wardenberg is the same, so willing to give the ball up effortlessly. And Isaiah Wong and Kam NcGusty and Jordan Miller have fallen right into that same mode of pass first, look for the open man, get an assist. And Charlie has created that atmosphere on the court. The team chemistry we have has led to very high field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, because we're getting good shots most of the time.
Coach, Jordan Miller is a huge part of that too. He came over from a school you know pretty well, George Mason. He's getting 9.2 points, 5.6 rebounds. Talk about his effort so far, and then how he rounds out the 4-guard tandem.
Yeah. So one of the things that's very, very popular in today's game is guys who dribble a lot. You know, you can look at the Steph Currys and the Kyrie Irvings, the James Hardens, who dribble it almost all in one place outside the 3-point line and shoot it from very, very deep. Jordan Miller is one of those guys who doesn't need the ball in his hands a lot. He doesn't need to dribble a lot. He's very efficient. He's what I call a transporter. He catches it and passes it. He catches it and shoots it. He catches it and drives it. He doesn't have the ball in his hands a lot, yet he's involved in the offense tremendously. And because of his unselfishness, because of his efficiency, our offense runs very, very smoothly, because he's great at cutting to the basket. He's great at getting an offensive rebound and kicking it out for a 3. The other day against Duke, when we beat Duke at the end of the game, we missed a free throw. He got the offensive rebound, kicked it to Charlie Moore, who drove and kicked it to Isaiah Wong, who kicked it to Kam NcGusty, who drove the basket and made the game-winning layup. That all started with a Jordan Miller offensive rebound. Last night against Florida State, with 10 seconds to go, he got an offensive rebound again off a missed layup, tried to score himself at the rim, missed it, got that, and kicked it out to Charlie Moore for a 3 for the 1-point lead. So Jordan Miller is one of those glue guys that just helps our offense run smoother and smoother as the game progresses.
Last thing, Coach, you guys are, well, you're not off, but you don't have a game until the 18th, which is next Tuesday. You're going to host North Carolina. As it stands, through 17 games, talk about the merits of having this much time without a game going forward into the middle and into the end of the schedule.
Yeah, we've played so many games in a short period of time since coming back from the Christmas break. And we were missing a couple of key players, Sam Wardenberg and Wooga Poplar, for a couple of games as well. So now our team gets a chance to rest, recover, and start focusing now on the marathon, because we've got a lot more games still to play. We need to get ourselves back focused. We need to get our energy level back up after these long road trips. You know, we had to travel to Duke, come back home after a Saturday night game. We got back at 3:00 in the morning. We then left on Monday, flew up to Tallahassee to play a 8:00 game, didn't get home till 3:00 in the morning last night. So these late nights now, our guys will have a chance to catch up on their rest, their hydration and nutrition, get back onto the practice court, work on some skills, and hopefully be ready to go on Tuesday against the Tar Heels.
Coach Jim Larranaga has the Miami Hurricanes up near the top here in the ACC, tied for first in the loss column. Coach, thanks again for coming on with me, and I'm going to get down there at some point this year. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, well, it's only about 80 degrees today, and the sun is shining.
There you go. That's what we love. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Ken. See you now.
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah.